What's up everybody, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you like it, which you're probably new here because I'm new here. Today's video is 26 lessons I learned by 26. So I got motivated for this video because my birthday is coming up. It's gonna be on Thursday, April 30th. So hopefully y'all are seeing this when it's my birthday or after my birthday, doesn't matter. But regardless, it's on April 30th. And I wanted to take the time and just talk about the lessons that I've learned before or by 26. I wanted to call this 26 at 26, but it's really 26 by 26 because it's not just like lessons from the last year, but just like lessons mostly in my 20s thus far. But I just like how 26 at 26 sounds better than 26 by 26. Sounds like a math class when I say 26 by 26, but y'all get the point. My 20s have been jam-packed with lessons, you know what I'm saying? Like jam-packed with lessons. Like snooze and sleep and you're gonna miss out on some really big things, you know what I mean? Like one of those movies you can't like fall asleep in. I feel like that's what my 20s have been so far. Just a lot of lessons, and for the first few I probably took them personally, and then I learned that these are things that are supposed to elevate me, to help me evolve and just become a better version of myself. So a lot of these lessons were learned through heartache, through pain, through, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I have one more lesson that I just thought of. I had a lot of good lessons too, come from positive things. But of course, like the more difficult things will always like open up your eyes to a lot of things. So as it did for me. So I'm here to share that with you guys. I thought this would be a good way for me to reflect on things. These are things I would go back. If I could go back to my younger self and tell them these things, like I would tell them these things. Or if I had like a child, I would make them watch this. Be like, this is what you gotta be prepared for. So let's get into it. 26 lessons by 26, or 26 at 26, whatever. Titles don't matter. So are you all ready for this? Okay. Making yourself happy will be the first major key to success. So I'll rephrase that. Learning what makes you happy and learning how to make yourself happy will be the most important, one of the most important things that you will learn in this life. I feel like if you know how to make yourself happy, you just have happier relationships, you know, especially like with your significant other, because you're not relying on them to make you happy, and any happiness they bring to you is just like I mean, it's a little cherry on top. It's not something you need, but it's nice to have. Lesson number 2, fail fast and fail as soon as possible. I think earlier on in my 20s, I was just like really feared failure. Like I just feared what it would look like to fail and having to deal with the consequences of failure, or like being able to look at myself and be like, you failed at something. I don't know, I just had this like immense fear of failure. And I learned that first of all, failure is inevitable, and failure is always has a lesson attached to it. The faster you get that lesson, the faster you can apply it, the faster you can catch a W. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, if you could just accept, just like be down, just be down to fail, you know, and don't be intimidated by failure. Failure is good. Failure is a blessing in disguise. We preach it. We're preaching already. Point 2. Okay, to put yourself out there. Growing up, I was like super introverted and super shy, and I definitely still have like that aspect of me, but I've gotten some really good results and just like real good relationships and just good opportunities from putting myself out there, whether that's in relationships or in my career. Like I wouldn't even be in LA today if I didn't put myself out there multiple times. It was like a series of things that I did that somehow landed me in Los Angeles, and I didn't know that they would at the time. I was just like putting myself out there and putting myself in situations, and just doors just began to open. Put yourself out there, you're opening yourself up for rejection, yes, and like you know, other things, but you can also be opening yourself up to blessings. And if you open up to rejections or whatever, you fail or something, refer back to point number 2. Failure is good. Find the lesson in that and keep it moving. Okay, point number 4 is don't be so hard on yourself. I am my biggest critic. I am my biggest critic. Anything, I used to say, like back in the day, probably like 2-3 years ago, like there's nothing that you can tell me that I haven't told myself. Like there's no critique you can give me that I haven't told myself. And I used to ride so high on my horse thinking like that's a good thing, but it's really not, because it's like, why are you so critical of yourself? So just don't be so hard on yourself. Just don't be so hard on yourself. Like, love in yourself. And if you're gonna be critiquing yourself, you should probably be affirming yourself and pouring into yourself equally as much, if not more. Lesson number 5 is time is more valuable than money. The phrase time is money is very, very accurate, but like the sub phrase to that is time is more valuable than money. Time is way more valuable than money. That's all I have to say about that. I could write a book about that. It's a very powerful thing. But yeah, let's get into the good stuff. Lesson number 6, having non-negotiables. Dun, dun, dun. Having non-negotiables, especially for me in my context, is before dating or before getting into a relationship. I didn't learn that until after I got out of a serious relationship. Bruh. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I got completely distracted there. But a non-negotiable could be like someone who is ambitious, or somebody who is a family man or a woman, or someone who is like spiritual. I don't know, whatever your non-negotiables are. I'm trying to think of mine and if I should share them. I don't think I'm gonna share them. We're just gonna leave that to myself. But yes, have non-negotiables. I have 5 that I'm not negotiating on. Super important, and will help you in dating, and they will serve you in your relationship as well. Forgiveness is top 5 the most rewarding feelings I have ever experienced. I don't know, when else do you get that feeling? Like after a massage, you just feel like new. It's like, oh, I didn't know I had those knots in my body. I don't know. It's just very calming. Forgiving others, forgiving yourself is good for yourself. I will be honest that the last 3 lessons I learned in relationships, now that I read them out loud, I could see how they all lined up. But lesson number 8 is, you know, this is a hard one. Lesson number 8, pick carefully who you talk to and vent to. They may not be equipped to help you, or they may not be wishing the best for you. And yeah, nowadays, I'll tell you guys what I do nowadays is, I know people have like methods. When I'm upset, before, my mind is like all over the place, but when I'm upset, I'll call one of my homegirls, be like, girl, you cannot guess what happened. You cannot guess what this said to me today. That would be me. 2 years ago. And now I just, when things happen and I can tell that I'm upset or I need to like vent, I just pray about it first. And I have like 2 people on planet Earth that I would call. I have my phone a friend line is 2 folks. If they don't answer and if they can't listen to me, that's it. I'm just like not talking to anybody else. So just have like your confidence, I guess. It's super important. Act and move like the prayer has been answered already. So generally, faith has been a big lesson for me, or something that I've really had to practice so far. It's like the overarching theme of my 20s so far. And part of it is, you know, having enough faith that you believe whatever it is that you need in the season of your life, or whatever it is that you want in the season of your life, is going to happen. Stress like comes from uncertainty, right? But if you were sure, you probably wouldn't be stressed, right? If you knew you were gonna come up in the next 24 hours or in 3 days, like, you wouldn't be stressed. So just act like you're gonna come up. Act like your prayers have been answered, and is good vibes for you all day. You'll find yourself more productive, find yourself more joyful, and you know what I mean? It's just a better time. These are a lot of lessons. Lessons number 10. Let's try to make these faster. Lesson number 10. Allocating my energy. Energy, I feel like, is like such a buzzword right now, but yeah, allocating my energy. So just paying attention to what I give energy to. Like sometimes I'll even like type a tweet and then I'll be like, you know what? I don't need to give this gas today. Like, this shouldn't take up my energy. This is not worth it. You know, leave it alone. So yeah, just watch what it is that you're putting your energy into. If it's positive, it's helping you, building you, serving you. You know what I mean? Just treat your energy like a bank account. You can't be cashing out every chance you get, you know what I'm saying? Outgrowing chapters and people and things. I just learned to gracefully outgrow things, people, all of that. And when I say gracefully, it's just like, it's not with like, oh, I'm better than that, or it's not like feeling yourself like that. It's just like noticing that something has changed. Either you don't enjoy something or you don't vibe with someone the way that you used to vibe with them, and that's okay. Like not everybody and everything was put in your life to be there for the entirety of your life, right? Rarely anything lasts that long. So if you find yourself outgrowing things or people or outgrowing stages or scenes or whatever, like it's cool. Lesson number 12 is all about money. If you had to like that sound, that's what that was. Money. So I've just learned how to be better with money. And if I was to talk to my younger self, I'd be like, maybe you should pay attention to this money thing more. Just paying attention to money, which I've gotten a lot better at. But if I knew what I know now, I would have started sooner. Is what I'm saying. I feel like I talk over myself a lot. Like I feel like sometimes I will be talking and I say my next sentence before the other sentence is over. It's so annoying. Okay. Lesson number 13 is therapy is game changers. Everyone should go to therapy at least once in their life. Like I learned so much about myself. It just created like this sense, or what's the word? Created this self-awareness, right? This heightened self-awareness that I feel like I just move a lot easier in my emotions, and it's amazing. You don't know how much you need someone to listen until you go to therapy and they're listening and you just can't stop and you're like, wow, like where did all these thoughts and feelings come from? It's very therapeutic. Lesson number 14 is meditation is also game changer. So before I started meditating, I just thought it was really weird to just sit there and like do that. So I was never really into it, and I don't know how I started into it, but it helps me manage my thoughts. It helps me clear my head. It's just a really powerful thing. And so I do that mostly in the mornings, and I use the app Headspace. Like focus on today. So I kind of mentioned in my in the last lesson that I'm meditating more now, and it helps me with my anxiety. And also just kind of like, I find when you're anxious, or at least when I'm anxious, I'm thinking about multiple things, right? Multiple things are running through my head. So how I manage that is just to focus on what it is that I have to do today, right? So in the mornings, I journal, spend some time after meditating, getting clear on what I want out of the day, right? And that is my only focus. Okay, my 5-year goal, this is not the time. This is not the time for you, okay? Today is just about today. So just focus on today and you're gonna get where you need to go. So just focus on today. Slow down. I just wanna get to know you. I wrote slow down, but that's what always comes to my mind ahead when I read it. Anyways, number 16, slow down. Slow down. I'm one of those people who needs to feel productive, and like productivity is always a goal, and there's always something. My camera died. What was I saying? Oh, yes. I'm one of those people who always feels like they need to be doing something. So year 24 and 25 really taught me to slow down. I knew it was a problem for me when I didn't even celebrate my wins. Like as soon as I accomplished something, like I'd be like, all right, bet, next thing. Like I never, and it was so automatic. Like I just was always pushing for the next thing. And so I've learned to just slow down and kind of like just enjoy the process. Like the destination, it looks real nice, it looks really good in my head, right? It's pretty, it's everything that I want, it's everything that I'm working for, but like there's just so much beauty in the process. There's so much to be had in the process, so I don't have to get to where I'm going quite yet to experience that. Like I can experience that today. So slow down and treat yourself too. Like stop, celebrate your wins, you know, do things that make you feel good and that slow you down. For me, that's a lot of like self-care, like going out and getting massages. I feel like there was a light flash. Going out and getting massages, getting my nails done like frequently, you know, whatever I need to do to like treat myself also helps me slow down. Lesson 17, ask more questions. Ask more questions. I don't know, but this was one of the first things that came up to me when I started writing this, and every time like I think about something, I'm like, oh, I should have asked, or I should have thought about this. And it's like, you could have thought about that if you asked more questions, you know what I mean? So I don't know, just ask more questions. Just ask more questions. Just ask more questions. Lesson number 18 is my favorite word, which is empathy. So I think I'm a generally empathetic person. I sometimes feel for people too much, right? I identify with people too much sometimes. But then there's other times where I just like don't, and I think people are dumb, and I'm like, why would you even do that? What you're doing doesn't make any sense. Why are you wasting my time? You know, there's definitely moments where I think like that, and I have to remind myself to be a little empathetic. Or what reminds me to be empathetic is like, everybody is out here living a completely different life, you know what I'm saying? Everybody is out here with a completely different background, a completely different set of values, a completely different world experience, and that is going to heavily influence how they move. So I can't expect someone to see things how I'm seeing, because we're different. At the end of the day, me and you are different. So if somebody doesn't get me or doesn't see where I'm coming from or doesn't agree, it's just like I have to understand that, accept that, and then just kind of like move on and like not spend so much time on that. So that's what empathy looks like for me today. It's just like getting it. It's like, if you don't see what I'm saying, that's cool. Like it's fine. And it's made my relationships with people who share the same viewpoints or like feelings and thoughts and emotions or whatever, it's made that so much more beautiful. Like now if someone like understands me, I'm like, wow. Wow, this is so great. And I'm so excited to be your friend. Like I'm so like, I value those people, because it's just it's rare and it's highly unlikely that you're always going to see eye to eye with folks. So if you have people that you do see eye to eye with, you know, those are good relationships to have, and those are blessings. And if you have people that you don't see eye to eye with certain things, you just kind of have to understand that y'all are different, and it's bound to happen. It's not you're not supposed to see eye to eye with everyone, I guess is what I'm saying. Lesson number 19 is life is not about us. Life is not about me. Life is not about you. We're all pieces to a puzzle, right? So sometimes that reminds me to be a little less selfish, I guess, because like I'm here to live out my purpose and, you know, do things that I love, but I'm not only here just for me. I'm part of a moving system, right? So it reminds me to contribute to the system that I'm in, right? And to not be so selfish, or to be more involved in things that I care about, or to serve others or things like that, because this life is not just about me. Like I have purpose outside of myself, if that makes sense. Lesson number 20, we're getting through these. We got 6 more. Lesson number 20 is make people a priority. Something that I've learned in this like self-isolation period that we're in is to just make people a priority. Like I've been talking to a lot of my friends often, and I love that, and I want to continue that when this quarantine is over. So yeah, make people a priority. Getting clear on who you are and your boundaries. It just helps you, it helps me make decisions faster too, because something can happen and I could be like, yeah, no, that is far out from who I am, and that is crossing some certain lines for me, and I'm not gonna entertain that. I think that goes back to lesson number a lot of lessons. We're not gonna scroll that far up. It goes back up. It goes back up to a couple other lessons. But yeah, get clear on who you are and your boundaries. I never really thought about this a lot until I moved out here to LA. Shocker. But and I want to say this before I say anything, there's actually really awesome people in LA. Some of the friendliest people actually that I've met are here. So I don't think it's a city thing. I think it's just like a people thing. Okay, that's out of the way. Treat everybody the same. You will find those people who treat others based on what they think that person can do for them, right? Or if someone stops doing something for you, you change how you interact with them. And honestly, I think that is so phony, because life is not about you, and you don't know why this person is in your life or why you cross paths, right? So how I look, I say right a lot. How I look at it is, like there's literally like a planet full of billions and billions of people. For you to be sitting across from me in this bus or in this event, it's like the chances are actually really slim, and I think we take that for granted. So we kind of just like assess people, what's another word, we size up people, right, based on what we think, not what we know, based on what we think, and then we act accordingly. And I just think that's super shady, because you don't know, that person may not be a blessing to you right now, but they could be 4 months from now, 4 years from now. You don't know, like you just don't know. So just treat everybody the same. Like treat people based on who you are and not who you think they are. Okay, this is a lot of talking, and I'm parched. Behind every mistake is an opportunity. This is the every L is a lesson. Okay, mistakes should teach you something about yourself. They should show you where you fall short. And once you know that, that's an opportunity to be different and to be better the next time around. Mistakes are set up as opportunities for you to evolve. I feel like I've talked so much that I'm just running out of words. My vocabulary is... Number 24, traveling is a game changer. Every time I leave my little corner of the earth, put that down, I have so much fun. I have so much fun, and I feel like I just have a wider perspective and just a deeper appreciation for life. So if I could tell my younger self anything today, I would be like, stack your money and travel more every chance you get. Lesson 25 is relationship with self. So this is just kind of being mindful with the relationship I have with myself, simply put. And for me, that means like, you know, affirming myself and saying positive things to myself, not being so hard on myself and not critiquing myself so much, which is like kind of what I talked about in the other points. So yeah, just being aware with that relationship with yourself, how you feel about yourself, being confident in yourself, you know, just being self-aware, I guess, is lesson number 25. Lesson number 26 is my favorite lesson. These were in no order, but I saved the best for last. And the last one, which is lesson number 26. 26 is a big number. Okay, 26 is life has its own way of working out that could be even better than you imagined. So lesson number 26 is about life's magic. Life has magic. Life is magic. Life has a beautiful way of working itself out. And I, at some point in my life, like earlier on in my adulthood, I had a vision, I had a plan. And I think we're taught how to have visions, you know, vision boards, plan it out, whatever. And which is really healthy, and you know, you should do and you should know what you want and things like that. But I think sometimes we can get too caught up and too tied into our idea of what our reality and what our futures would look like, right? Life humbled me at some point, and I learned in that moment that it has its magic, and if you just allow for it to work itself out, you can really reap, you really start to feel that magic. Maybe not immediately, but you will soon enough. So things just have a beautiful way of working itself out. I like to call it magic because it's beyond me. Was that corny? I don't know. I could talk about point number 26 in like 10 minutes. I could go on and on about that, but I want to cut that off there. These are 26 lessons that I learned by 26. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you watched it all the way through for all 26. Comment below 26 so that I know that you watched it all the way through. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.